So today we're talking about a question that I get all the time. Can I lose my Canadian permanent residence status? And the short answer is yes. But don't panic. There are specific reasons why PR status can be lost, and some of them are actually positive. So permanent residents enjoy more rights than temporary residents, but PR status is not guaranteed forever. You could lose it if you don't maintain certain obligations. But on the flip side, becoming a Canadian citizen actually also ends your PR status. So that's a good way, right? Also, just because your PR card expires doesn't mean you lose status. It just means that you need a valid card to travel back to Canada. That's if you're outside of Canada and that happens to you. Now, stay tuned. We're going to break everything down. Now, first up, the most common reason PR status is lost is not meeting residency obligations. You must be physically present in Canada for at least 730 days in any 5-year period. So that's roughly 2 out of every 5 years. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be continuous. I keep explaining this to many people that contact me that it doesn't have to be continuous, meaning you don't have to be in Canada continuously for 2 years. That 2 years is cumulative, so anytime that you spend in Canada and then you spend some outside of Canada, here, a bit there, all of those days add up to the 730 days. Okay, so make sure that you are tracking your time in and out of Canada. Now, also, some time spent abroad can even count if it meets certain conditions. Now, one of those is if you are employed full-time abroad by a Canadian company or government. Secondly, if you are traveling with a Canadian spouse or common law partner who works full-time outside Canada for a Canadian employer or government. Now, dependent children traveling with you in these situations can also count their time abroad toward the 730 days, right? So those two conditions up there, if you meet any of those two conditions, then even when you are outside of Canada, you can still count your time outside of Canada as part of the 730 days. Dependent children in this situation can also count the days as well. So make sure that you always track your time. That's the best tip that I can give you. So you can use RCC has a travel journal, and you can use that travel journal to record the dates that you leave and return to Canada, countries you visited, reason for traveling, that is vacation, work, family, whatever it is. And even if you don't use it, it's a handy reference if IRCC ever asks you, right? Even if you don't use that journal, it's good to have it, because when RCC asks you, you can provide that journal as proof, right? Especially when you're applying for citizenship. Now, another reason why you could lose your PR status is becoming inadmissible to Canada. Now, let's talk about inadmissibility. Permanent residents have rights, but you can still be denied entry or even removed from Canada if you become inadmissible. Now, the main reasons for inadmissibility include: 1, serious criminality. So if you are convicted in Canada of an offense punishable by 10 years or more, or you received a prison sentence over 6 months, you could become inadmissible. Now, if you also committed a crime outside Canada that would be punishable by 10 years or more under Canadian law, you could become inadmissible and you could be removed from Canada. Now, if this happens to you, there are some options, okay? There is deemed rehabilitation, there's criminal rehabilitation. You have to make an individual application for that. And there is, a temporary residence permit for short-term entry. So you could lose your PR status, but you may, and I'm choosing my words very carefully here, you may be allowed to temporarily visit Canada or come back to Canada. Okay? Now, another reason why you could lose your PR status is misrepresentation. Leaving out important information in your application, submitting false documents, lying about health, employment, or education. Now, some of the consequences include fines, removal from Canada, and a re-entry ban for up to 5 years. So you could be banned and not allowed to re-enter Canada for up to 5 years. So always be honest and thorough in your applications. Sometimes I've seen that people are not necessarily trying to be dishonest. They just didn't pay attention when submitting the applications. Now, mind you, you're going to be going through the IRCC system for a very long time. You know, maybe from a student permit to PR, and then from PR to citizenship. There must be consistency in your application. So make sure you're not found wanting. And now one of the last reasons why you could lose your PR status, and like I said, this is a very good one, is becoming a Canadian citizen. So you voluntarily choose to become a Canadian citizen, and that is a positive one. Now, if you choose to become a Canadian citizen, you naturally lose your PR status, but you upgrade. Okay, so that's a good thing. Now, Canadian citizens gain the right to vote and run for office. They have access to all jobs, including those requiring security clearance. You know, there are certain jobs that require you to be a citizen of the country. Now, if you move from PR to citizenship, then you can apply for those jobs. They have the ability to pass citizenship to children born abroad. They have protection from deportation, no residency obligations. You know, you can live abroad indefinitely, unlike with your PR status where, you know, the 730 days rule applies. The citizens can also get a Canadian passport. PR people can get that, right? So citizens can get the Canadian passport with visa-free travel to many countries. Canada's passport is actually one of the strongest passports in the world. Okay, so check that out. And you can also have, you know, support from Canadian embassies while you are abroad. So basically, PR status transitions to full citizenship benefits. All right, so this has been a quick discussion on this issue as well. So you can lose your PR status. Keep that in mind. If you're wondering about that question, I answered it and said yes, you can lose your PR status if you don't meet residency obligations, you become inadmissible, or if you voluntarily transition to citizenship, right? But with the right planning and awareness, most permanent residents maintain their status without issue. So don't be one of those people, you know, that is unlucky. Stay focused. And so if this video helped you, like, subscribe, and share. Also leave a comment in the comment section. If you have any questions, I am willing to answer them. Any questions about your PR obligations or citizenship, just put them in the comment section below. If there are any topics that you'd like me to address in my next videos, let me tell me about those in the comment section as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.